Hey YouTube, I'm here with a 2017 ACURA RDX. I've had this vehicle now for about a couple months, put about 2,400 miles on it. Thought I would post a review, let you guys know what I thought of it from an average man's point of view, and hopefully I can be a little bit more honest about the vehicle than some of the reviews you might see online. As you can see, I ordered the RDX Black with the black interior. I'm going to start by walking around the vehicle so you can see what it looks like on the exterior. I got two accessories with the vehicle, these roof rails, as well as the splash guards that can be installed before you take it home with you. Sharp looking vehicle. I think most smaller SUVs in this class all have great looks to them. I think the ACURA has one of the better looks. Standard aluminum wheels. I think those are 18-inch wheels, if I'm not mistaken. Tinted windows. No fog lights on this version, as that I think only comes with the advanced package. Although the tech package, which is what this has installed, comes with an automatic lift gate. Press the button right underneath the ACURA symbol. Opens up to a very nicely appointed cargo space. My dealer has these sort of rubber mats included in every purchase. They come in handy if you're loading. I've already had a few things in here that, as you can see, has already messed up a little bit of the newness of those rubber mats. There are handles back here for lowering the seats to give you more cargo space. In fact, I'll just pull one out so you can see how that goes down like that, and the other one would go down the same way and would give you a lot of space back here. Technology package, if you press this button here, power liftgate will close automatically. Very nice feature. I actually like that a lot. Alright, let me get into the interior and I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright YouTube, I am back in my garage. I thought I would just park it in my garage out of the sun to give you a better look into the interior of the vehicle. I want to give you a nice thorough review of the interior. Now again, the only reason I'm doing this review is not because of any other reason than I want to try to give you a better understanding of the vehicle before you actually purchase it, if you're in fact looking at this particular vehicle. I don't work for a dealership, I don't work for the manufacturer, I'm not sponsored by anybody. Just thought I would do a nice thorough review as best I can for you. So bear with me, it might be a long video, but I'll try to make it as short as possible. One of the reasons, I think maybe I mentioned earlier, is that one of the reasons we bought this vehicle is because my wife has a TLX, which is sitting there in our driveway. And we really liked that vehicle, so we went ahead and bought this one. Now with, I guess, all of the Acuras, if you have a key fob and you walk up to the door, all you have to do is put your hand inside the handle, it'll unlock automatically. This button here is the locking mechanism. As you heard the beep, that's a lock, and then when you do that, it unlocks it. One of my least favorite features of this vehicle is that when you do that, when you lock the vehicle and then you unlock the vehicle, in order for you to open the back door or any of the other doors in the vehicle, you actually have to come and either hit that unlock button or hit the unlock button on your key fob to open up the back. I actually have some stuff here in the back piled. Let me get that stuff out of the way. All my bags for here in California, we have the no plastic bag rule, so we have to bring our own bags to our local grocery store. So again, just going back into what I want to do, I want to go ahead and show you more of the interior. I'll start in the back seat here. Standard Door configuration here in the back, have a nice handle, have your lock and unlock mechanism, your handle, your window up and down, and a little bit of a storage compartment here for a water bottle or something else that might fit in there. Seats are all leather trimmed in the back. One negative of the back, in my opinion, is that it's a little cheap on the material. As you can hear, it's more of a plasticky feel to a lot of the material. Even the door frames, the inside of the door is a little bit on the cheaper side. It's not. There are some small soft touch items along here. A lot of this is trimmed with some soft touch material. But kind of, and I'll get more into that a little bit in the front, but it's just a common theme throughout this vehicle. Again, it's got the 60/40 split. It does have a center armrest that comes down with cup holders. Kind of a nice feature. I've only owned this car for about 2 months. I've yet to figure out how, if I can, unhook that center safety belt, which I'm not sure that you can actually. Alright, and one of the features too about this back seat is if you're sitting in it, and I won't get in there, maybe I will. You get in there and you look, and again, I've got pretty decent knee room. That's where my seat is. I'm about a 6 foot guy, maybe 5'11", and I still have a lot of knee room here. So it's pretty comfortable as far as leg room back here. But also it's a little bit more of a theater seat kind of situation where you're sitting a little higher than the two people up front. So it's a nice feature, and I kind of like that quite a bit actually. You do have air ventilation back here, so people can actually control and their amount of air that they're intaking and also their direction. Seat back pockets. Again, same configuration of the door on that side. Alright, let me jump out and I'll get in the front seat. Alright, so before I jump in the front seat, just wanted to show you a little bit of the outside of the door here. One of the interesting parts of this vehicle that I found actually recently, because I usually sit in the driver's seat, and I had the pleasure of sitting in the passenger seat for one particular trip. And I noticed that the door configuration on the passenger seat is different from the door configuration on the driver's side. The driver's side has a standard area here and a little pocket to grab onto the door to open and close it. But the passenger side actually doesn't have that feature. There's no compartment. Let me grab on, jump on in here. Sorry about that, kind of almost dropped the video camera. But as you can see, there's no pocket in the door handle. So kind of interesting. So if you're like me and you like to have a little pocket to hold your cell phone or your keys or your extra change, that's kind of a design feature that I would have liked to have had as a passenger. Alright, so again, same kind of gauges that you'll see on most vehicles like this. You'll have your steering wheel controls for your radio, your Bluetooth, your information on your dash, and then your cruise control. In this particular model, I've got the touch screen here, which doesn't come with your base model, and then your multi-display unit up there, and all your gauges here in your console. Here, I'm gonna turn it on. I won't turn the engine on, but you can see things light up. As you can see, I've got about 2,381 miles on this vehicle at this point. Come over here and you'll see right now the audio is powered off. Tells you that the audio is powered off. If you turn it on, it obviously will come up with the different stations. And you do that by pressing the button.
Here it is. Can't be alone.
So right now I'm listening to the Howard Stern station, but I have other stations preset for my Sirius satellite radio. Turn down the volume there for you. Everything on this screen is touchscreen, so you can cycle through everything just by touching it. Up here is your information for the rest of your vehicle, and you can get through different. You can go to trip computer, you can look at your voice information, traffic incidents, which is actually kind of a neat thing, your calendar, clock, and wallpaper. You can also go to your phone, which I won't show you. Well, actually, it's not connected right now. So I'll just say no to that. No connected phone, but there you would have all your information from your phone that's been paired. And then my navigation, which is right here, which I won't go into detail on navigation. There's plenty of videos out there for navigation. Down here is your control for all your other features. Down in this part, you've got your climate control buttons, which I like a lot better in this vehicle than my wife's, because it's all out here in button format, where most of hers you actually have to go to this screen and go through all the controls that way. There is a CD player in this particular car, a single CD player. It also has a hard drive, and I've noticed another negative of this vehicle, and maybe it's true on all the Acuras, I'm not 100% sure, is once you put a CD in there, it actually records it for you and puts it on the hard drive. I think the hard drive, the guy told me, can save up to 3,600 songs, which is a nice feature, but I don't always want to have everything I put in there on CD on my hard drive. So just keep that in mind when you're looking into that. Down here you've got your cup holders, stick shift, nice little compartment here. Let me go ahead and turn the radio off. Nice little compartment with your power controls. You've got your USB. I don't know if you can really see that, but there's a USB and an auxiliary port, and then a standard cigarette lighter power connection. Down here you've got your armrest, which opens up, and that's where I collect all my coins and other things that I put in there as well. And there's some power components in there as well for charging. So that's about it. Now, a couple of the negative things that I wanted to point out in here. One is the seats themselves. It says on Acura's website that these are sports seats, and I'm not really sure what that means, other than I think after comparing it with my wife's car, a 2015 TLX, I think what it really means is it's supposed to give you more support, but what I've noticed is it doesn't really give you more support. In fact, on a couple of long trips that we've taken in this vehicle, I've had some discomfort in my lower end, I guess you want to say, with these seats. So if you're sensitive to seat comfort, it might not be the best option for you. I would consider, if you do buy this car, I would consider buying a seat cushion, which I'm looking into. Now, a couple of other things that I noticed in my particular vehicle, and maybe this is a workmanship, craftsmanship type of issue. I think these vehicles are built in America, not built overseas, so that might be one of the issues. With this upper screen, I noticed when I first drove it away that it was a little bit on the cockeyed sense. It didn't quite sit flush, and I noticed after a couple of days of looking at it that over here there's a little ridge where the seam is, and so when they installed this unit, they didn't install it flush with the dash, therefore creating a little bit of a slant in the screen. So just something to look at when you're in the vehicle that you're looking to purchase. A couple of other things that I noticed, going back to sort of the cheapness of what Acura has done with this vehicle, is the center cup holder situation. Not a horrible cup holder situation. I like where it's located position wise. If I rest my hand here, I can actually grab whatever's in here. But it holds a standard water bottle, but it doesn't hold it tightly, so that it does kind of flop around a little bit. Bigger drinks or whatever you might put in here will fit in here a little bit more snugly. But one thing that I noticed is that it doesn't have any support underneath it, so that when you have heavier things coming in and out of here, it actually bends. You can't probably really see it on the video, but it kind of bends the center console area when you have heavier things in there, taking it in and out. And I'm kind of wondering if in the future that will maybe kind of warp this into a little concave situation later on, but that's to be seen. I don't think I showed you, but down here I have the rubber mat, as I did in the back. I tend to like these better. They hold up better than the carpet. That's just a personal preference. But again, all in all, great vehicle. Something that I think from a capability standpoint is right up there with everything else in its class. From a gas from a gas mileage point of view, I'll show you my history of my trip A's. Now, I have basically just been taking this to and from work. I have a 6-mile commute, non-freeway commute, and you can see that I'm averaging about, on my trips, about 22 miles per gallon. That's a combined amount. That 330 that you see there, that was a trip from Las Vegas to my home in San Diego. That was about 330 miles, and we averaged 28 on the freeway. So you're not getting the best gas mileage with a vehicle in this class because it's a 6-cylinder engine, and they don't come in 4-cylinder. So if you're looking for gas mileage as one of your decision factors, this is probably not the best vehicle for you. But again, going back to you know, the value for the money, I think it's a little expensive for the quality that this car presents you. I do like the feel, the drive. It's very smooth. It is a Honda product, so I don't have a lot of issues with reliability. But the money that you're spending on it might be better served buying something like a Toyota RAV4 or a Nissan Rogue or a Honda CR-V if you're just looking for something that's going to be more practical from a gas mileage point of view, as well as a reliability point of view. So hopefully that helps everybody. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Drop it in the comment description below, and I'd be happy to give you any more information that you might need. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See ya.